Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, Sell Rules, week number 40, ending January 11, 2019. I'm sharing my stock journey as I practice and develop my sell rules. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I've bought, nor is it an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm just allowing you to follow me along on my journey. The market is in a confirmed uptrend, and that means it's okay to add stocks to your portfolio. You still want to be selective and purchase them at the proper buy point. My basic sell rules are number one, I want to minimize my losses, which I do by setting a stop limit order at the floor. Initially, when I purchase a stock, I just set it at a straight 8%. And then once a week, I revisit to see if there is a better place to move that up. Typical places are the 20-day exponential moving average, the 25-day simple moving average, or the 50-day simple moving average, although I don't typically like stocks that are down at the 50-day area. You'll see that I've been raising my floor on most of my stocks. You don't want to raise it too high or you'll choke the stock off and not give it enough room to fluctuate normally, and then it will trigger a sell and you'll be out of the stock. I'm getting rid of my rule number two because it's a stupid rule. Number three, I like my stocks to gain a minimum of 0.5% a week. And then I need to add a decline from the peak rule, which is basically once your stock has hit a high, there's a percentage that you'll let it fall from that high before you sell. And then I need to also decide if I'm going to have a standard rule that for most of the stocks I take a profit when it hits 25%, with an exception if the stock is a really super high runner, then I would not sell. And then my last rule is that I watch stocks that I've sold previously to look for any repurchase opportunities. I made 8 buys and 1 sell in week 40. Unfortunately, one of my buys was also one of the stocks that I had to sell. The stocks highlighted in yellow, I did not have time to record separate buy videos for those, so I'm going to go ahead and just review those purchases here. There are several stocks that performed well in the last year that broke down and fell below their 200-day moving average when the market started to fall apart in October. And Salesforce, symbol CRM, is one of those. I purchased a stock on January 11th for 147.44, so I've just held it this one day. It's basically flat. When you look at a 1-year chart, you can see that it had a really strong uptrend and it was above that diagonal red line, which is the 50-day simple moving average. And then at number 2, this stock fell apart. This is starting in October, and the stock now has just crossed back above its that white line, which is the 200-day simple moving average. So I took a chance on this stock. It was not in a buy zone or proper buy point, but I went ahead and bought it, and we'll see how it performs. I purchased Zendesk on 1/9 and the price was 62.71. I've held it for 2 days and it's down just about 0.5%. The stock doctor gave this stock a B plus. It has crazy earning per shares and good sales, and it appears to have increasing fund ownership. This stock wasn't showing in a buy point on the MarketSmith pattern recognition, but I thought that at that number 1 where this stock had showed resistance before, it had hit that high in the middle of, I'm going to call this a cup sort of pattern. I thought once it crossed that resistance point, it was a good point to buy, so that is where I purchased it. Zendesk is also one of those stocks that fell apart when the market started to tank back in October, where that number 2 is. But number 1 is showing that green upward trend, and the stock was above the red diagonal line 50-day moving average that whole time, except for number 3 and 4 where it fell below. So I'm hoping that this stock resumes this uptrend. Veritex Pharmaceuticals is a stock that I bought on January 10th for 184.32. I did not do a buy report on this individually, so I'm going to report on it a little bit now. So the stock was in a pivot according to the IBD, investors.com. I've held this stock for 2 days and it's up 2%, which is awesome. It has a RS line that is at a new high at 91, and the stock doctor gave it a grade of A minus. It's pretty much been going sideways for the past year, so it doesn't have an upward trend that's recent. But I had bought this stock before the market tanked, and I'm going to give it another chance. I do like that it has all those up days, those green bars down in the volume section that are also above average volume. I purchased APYX Medical Corp on January 11th for $7.95. So I've just held it that one day and it's up 3%. It was in a pivot according to MarketSmith, and I found this stock on my Tandem screen. Now I'm going to review the charts for the 6 remaining stocks, and I've put them in order of weakest to strongest. Herbalife is my worst performing stock. It's down 4% in 8 days, and it's just not making any traction. So I did raise my floor last week to 55.33. I'm going to keep it at that point, but if I find another stock that I want to buy, I may just sell this one to make room in my portfolio for another stock. Evertech. This is a stock that I bought a little bit early, but it did reach its pivot point of 29.70 and then it fell. I've held this stock for 5 days and it's down 0.5%. Kirkland Lake Gold is up about 11% in 5 weeks, and I'm going to raise the floor to the 25-day simple moving average. Atlassian, I've held this stock for 2 weeks and it's up 6%, and I am going to raise my floor up to the 20-day exponential moving average, which is slightly just below my purchase price. Square, I've held this stock for 4 days and it's up 6%, which is awesome. Square is another one of those stocks that had a great upward trend, was living above its 50-day moving average, and then fell apart when the market tanked. So this is one of the ones that I'm hoping comes back strong. Chegg, I've held this stock for 5 days and it's up 6%. Awesome. I am going to raise my floor on this up to the 20-day exponential moving average. Here's my holding bar chart for stocks that I've owned for more than 1 week. You can see that Kirkland Lake Gold continues to go up. It's up about 11% since my purchase 5 weeks ago. And Team is also increasing. It's up 6% in just 2 weeks. HLF is having a hard time moving. Here's the current holding bar chart for stocks that I've just held 1 week. Each bar represents a week, and then down at the bottom I have the current holdings in dollar value, and then the current holdings weekly percentage change. And I sort those by the losers, thinking if I take care of the losers, then the winners will take care of themselves. So on the right hand side at the bottom, you can see Evertech and Zen are both down for the week. One down 0.4%, one down 0.6%. Not enough to take action right now, but I need to keep an eye on those as time goes on. Chegg and Square get gold stars for the week. They're both up about 6%, which is awesome for 1 week. The benchmark is showing that I'm up about 2 grand since last week. So my total increase at week 40 is 14.7%. Here's the industry breakdown. You can see down in the right hand corner I have last week's. So I've added more positions in the same sectors, plus I've taken positions in finance and medical, which I didn't have last week. This is my monthly tracker for sold stocks, and I added January there. You can see that I did sell 1 stock for a loss in January. And this is by the month that the stocks were sold. Same information, just looked at from a different angle. I added a weekly tracker that has my current holdings. So down at the bottom, you can see the week ending date 1/11/2019, and I have columns there for my average gain and my average loss. I have 10 stocks in my portfolio right now, and 7 of them are so far winning trades, and 3 of them are losing trades. And then I have my largest gain and largest loss, and then the average days held for my gains and my losses. I also added a weekly tracker for the positions that I've sold. So this week I did sell one stock, so it's listed down there. In my weekly tracker spreadsheet, the current holdings versus my sold holdings are actually right side by side. And if you look at number one, I should have seen like I had gains that were quite high, and then they started declining instead of increasing around September 21st. They started going down, and then they dropped substantially in October to under $1,000 for my largest gain. So those were indications that the stock market was heading into an area where I needed to not be investing. And then if you look at the sold for that time frame, number three, where I was selling quite a few stocks, and then I only had a couple of wins, and my losses were quite large, more than the 8%. So that's another reason why I'm keeping a tight rein on where I have my floor. So I'll automatically sell before I get into a big loss trouble. And my cash balance shows I have about 12 grand, and I have room to buy one more position in my portfolio. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want alerts when I post a new episode.